Chasin the Racin, powered by Colchester Kawasaki. Part of the Global Moto Group, we supply New Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Vespa, Royal Enfield, Kawasaki, Sim, Mutt and Benelli motorcycles.
3, 2, 1, and welcome back to Chasin the Racin, episode 158, and the first podcast that we're recording over at the TT. And we're delighted to be joined by Davo Johnson. How's it going?
Hello. Yeah, good, yeah, not too bad.
Last time we had Davo on was episode 34, but
I'm glad you looked up to that.
It was well before the studio times. So if anyone wants to go back and like sort of listen to, it was more like just going through your career and up to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to with a good few days into practice now, loads to talk about. So yeah,
I was about to say, last time we were speaking to you, you were in bed on the other side of the world, and now you're unfortunately not riding.
No,
you're a dickhead because you're my favourite rider here, and you explain to me what happened. What happened?
Well, just the testing. Obviously, we've got to go through a testing sort of set up through before. I mean, I come over late anyway because I had visa dramas and I was stuck in Australia.
Oh, and, the vid. Yeah.
Then when I eventually got here, I went straight. Basically, I rolled up on a Tuesday and then went 2 days later went to Silverstone BSB. So jet lagged to fuckery, and and the bikes were brand new, and went out and just did that weekend, which was good, successful for us, like in what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then one more test on a couple of other bikes, the Super Sport, Super Stock at Alton Park, and then we went to the race meeting on the Superbike, and it was going okay, but it's just a really weird crash that I had in the first race. Like it was. At a point, I wasn't even really pushing. Even all the guys in the team were just like, it was just the weirdest crash. Like everyone's looked at it and gone, what the freaking hell happened there? Because I was pretty well out of the corner and I wasn't even doing any flash times. I just wanted to finish those last couple laps of the first race, and then that was going to be it for the testing. Then we're going to go to the Northwest. So I literally had 3 more laps to go, and then ended up on my ass and in freaking hospital for a week.
It's obviously been a big gap as well of the whole COVID things from the last time that have you managed to keep your finger in over in Australia with a bit of testing?
Yeah, well, I was riding a lot. I was doing heaps of coaching. So riding, and I got an R1 out there when OMG Rich Energy team ended up going with Yamaha. I got a bike sort of sponsored out there, which I did all the coaching on, and just to sort of get the feel for it. And then I was doing a few fast laps here and there, but mainly coaching. So I was doing like 100 odd laps a day coaching. So I felt really bike fit. So as soon as I came here, the 30 odd lap race at Silverstone even felt quite good. I was surprised. Everyone thought I was going to be blowing out my ass after bloody 15 laps, and I came in and I was sweet. So it was good what we did out there. And the pace was still okay. Obviously, it's hard to sort of get straight onto BSB pace, but we weren't too far away. Within, I think, we're 1.5 off of the fast lap of the race. So I was pretty happy with that. Yeah. So I mean, that's all we need to do to get to the roads. And then all of a sudden, next thing I was in the air and span at myself. And
What was your original thought when Alan, obviously, you made the announcement that you've gone from BM to Yamaha? What was like? Were you like? Yeah, we're a bit like, is that the right bike for the Isle of Man? You know, what was your thoughts?
In a way, I mean, it's not a proven bike around here, but no. I think Jamie Cow's the fastest ever around here, and he's on 130.8, I think. Yeah. Which is obviously nowadays it's not really quick enough to win, but I'll be on the podium. I know, yeah, but I knew it had potential, and from what I felt from riding it, and from my experience in the past of other bikes I've ridden around here, I've had a feeling that it was going to be a weapon. Like, so I was really, really looking forward to it, and it's just getting to work once we got here, but it's not to be. But I've been helping James out as much as I can, just sort of telling him what I would do, how I would like the bike to feel.
I can just imagine him as a crew, just fucking send it. Well, I'm having a problem mid-corner, just send it.
Yeah. What you got to do, mate, just go like that. But I think it's been working a bit. They're moving in the right direction, and James is very chilled, and he's just like sort of slowly getting up to pace, which is it's good for his confidence, and is not moving, no backward steps, just all forward progression. So I think it's going to be, by the race on Saturday, he'll be on it.
I was about to say, this will be the first time that you've Hold on, well, you've had teammates before with a Norton, haven't you, and stuff like that, but this will be the first time you've probably come to the TT and helped another rider. Is that weird? Is that, or you're just jealous? Or what's it like?
No, not
sitting
really.
on the sidelines going, for God's sake, you lucky son of a,
I've said to everyone, they're lucky bastards. So you lucky bastards, you got to go and do some laps. But I've been doing a lot of laps with guys most days as well. So, I mean, I've got a lot of mates here. So I want to help them as much as I can and sort of... I can do a lap for you if you want.
Mate, I was just about to say, once this is canned off, can we go for a lap? That'd be awesome. What car you got? Alan must have got you a nice car.
No, I got sponsored by a guy here, Simon Skellen, who's got a car yard and it's going to be a nice BMW.
Nice.
So that's good.
Just stay away from roundabouts.
Yeah. It's not that nice. If I went through a roundabout or a fence or something, it wouldn't be too bad. Not as bad as the other one the other day.
Yeah.
We won't go there though, will we?
No. Let's avoid that one.
And another big talking point from the last time we had you on the podcast is you got married. Congratulations. Yeah, the old ring.
Diamonds as well, eh?
Yeah. Is the better half over here or
No, she's in Australia, unfortunately. I mean, she had her flights and everything booked to come over if I was racing. And as soon as the news come that I wasn't going to be able to race, she just cancelled the flights. She said, right, see you in a few months. Which sucks. I mean, I love it when she's here. And she sort of knows how to handle me during the time that I'm here. But unfortunately, we just have to wait till next year.
Mm-hmm. Right. Did you get married over there?
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was a good party. I can recommend it. After my speech, Billy McConnell was my best man.
Oh my God.
He did a knockout speech, and then so I was straight after, and mine wasn't too bad. And as soon as we did that, then we just like full throttle and just sent it. But it was an amazing party. But I'd like to do it again. I'd love to relive that. But
when you just said, "Will you marry us?" Was that like the main selling point for you? You thought, I do like her, but there's going to be a wicked party for this as well. So let's go over it.
Well, to start with, I even had to practice getting them on one knee because my body's completely destroyed. I've got a metal knee and all sorts. So I had to practice to make sure I could get down for starters.
Oh my God! I tell you what,
it was actually a good thing. Yeah.
For all our lady listeners, how did you do it? How did you get engaged?
Oh well.
What was the big
sorry to all the black guys, might be a boring story.
Oh, we have a blackout. Oh, shit. But this is still recording.
But you is still going.
Okay, whose hand's that? Whose hand's that? We're totally in the black here.
It's mine.
Chrissy, do we just keep going? Call it now. Let's just keep. We are in the pitch black here and wearing sunglasses. Oh, this is lovely for me, this mind. This is lovely for me. I'm just glad the cameras can't pick it up. Darkness is my friend. I'm like Dracula these days, man.
I'm a bit of a vampire myself.
From one of the sunniest places in the world, that's saying something.
I know, that's why I wear sunglasses all the time, but it's like, I don't like the sun. Don't like light.
I tell you what, that's the thing. Like, you've been here for a canny while. How long have you been over?
My first year was 2002. So
no, I meant this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah. Like, when did you arrive on the Isle of Man?
On the Isle of Man, so the Friday before first practice.
Yeah.
So I sort of avoided the pits because of the fact I wasn't riding. I just wanted to keep the depression till a bit later.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And then rolled up pretty on the day of the first practice. Just came into the pits and started getting amongst it because I'm doing the commentary. So it's
that is mint, by the way. It is mint. It's actually quite surreal. Like listen, like talking to you now. It's like that guy off the telly, Chrissy. That guy off the telly. You're like that guy. It's like Davo Johnson singing everyone to sleep at night. You know what I mean? It's ideal.
It's obviously been a new for the whole TT thing, all the live coverage, and comparing it to the how it was done previously, where like say if you were stuck in England, you would tune into Manx Radio and you had the different points. The upgrade, if you like, for experience for people around the world is just it's such a step up. And in terms of I know myself because I watching back home and you're seeing all the footage, you're getting all the inside information. It's a massive undertaking, and there will be a few sort of niggling issues for the first year, but it's I think everyone agrees it's been a massive success for the whole racing.
Yeah, absolutely. The first couple of nights there was a few little glitches, and one thing that you realise when it's such a global thing. Like, there's hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and one little thing that goes wrong, there's like keyboard warriors straight onto it. And it's like, man, and you just can't keep looking at it because it's sort of, it does tick you off. But the same guys that do that, and then about 5 minutes later, they're like, nah, it's all sorted. But they've already done the negative comment in the thread. So, and then people see that. But obviously they've got nothing. They're the sort of people that whinge about everything. So it's how that is. But no, it's going really, really good now. Last night was pretty well a knockout. I don't think many things went wrong, but it is with the commentary. There's maybe some delays here and there with what I'm talking about to what comes on screen. But I think you got to expect that with going out over so many, like 37 miles of circuit. It's a lot to for it all to come together and be perfect. But it's getting there.
In terms of all the setup, to be fair, like from all of where the stands are and all of the vans and the music thing, and there's that big with the massive screens with the stage, and I mean it's as a sort of a spectator coming, it's such a fantastic place to be. There's like such a buzz. I know everyone that's been over here knows, but there's the whole island's just like buzzing. It feels more like an international celebration of motorcycles, and you just see you see people all shapes and sizes and from all around the world just having a great time together, and I just think it's amazing.
Did you hear Rag and Bone Man playing last night? The other night?
Yeah, I was there.
Well, there we are. There. If you're not working, you're playing. Good lad. No, but it's mint, man. Like I'm a kip in the van, and all you can hear is Rag and Bone Man.
Could you hear him from here?
Oh, you can hear him from absolutely anywhere. It's class, man. Like,
I've not managed to get down to the stage yet. Other than Rag and Bone Man, have you been to see anyone like Jessie J or anyone else?
At the Darkness are playing and stuff like that. Like, this is class.
Massive bloody acts that are playing. And Rag and Bone Man, I sort of obviously know who he was, but then the songs came on as like that giant, I am giant. And I'm like, oh, that's him. Like, it was sort of I'm not a massive music guy, but I was sitting there and when I've heard that song, it spins you out. But it was packed. Yeah, and there was more people on the promenade as well because they were right next to the stage getting a free show. Yeah. So it was just the whole vibe of it down there was amazing.
It is good, man, isn't it? Like you say, the whole island's definitely walking up to it all. But I tell you what, I must ask you, even though you've been travelling around in the car and doing laps, is there any like standout parts of the track that have changed for you? You thought, wow, that's a bit negative, or a good thing? As far as the track changes,
the end of Solby Strait's getting pretty bumpy now, and that's simply because of the trees and all the tree roots that are coming through, and that's something that they always got to sort out every certain amount of years. But it's just after my first year, a couple of years after, they resurfaced that, and excuse me, and obviously it needs to be done again. But then there's a fair few other bits that have been resurfaced. The 11th milestone, I was always wondering, it's so smooth, but I was hoping it was going to be grippier because it was a point where a lot of people lose the front there for the fact that it's the first first left-hander for about 4 miles, and on a cold night it still happens with Mikko's crash, so you just got to be careful.
I've never ever thought of it like that. No, it spooked me. You're right though, you know what I mean? It's mental.
On a hot day it's no dramas, but that's just that sort of stuff. If people crash all the time, you just got to sort of think about it and think about why they crash all the time. It's no different to Craner Curves. Like Craner Curves, you got on a cold day, there's about 35 people that go down there a day, and there's a reason behind it. So that's why I always look at it, sort of go into it and sort of think about it and work out why that happens. Because obviously the last corner before left-hander before the Craner proper left is the last corner. Goddard's, isn't it? Yeah. And then it's like right, and then the first left. So it's on a cold day. It's sort of inevitable.
Makes sense.
That's a big word for me.
It's a big word for me and all. So.
I've just thought obviously the audio side's still running, but with
I've got a face for radio anyway.
For people that are listening, I've had a power cut, so I've just thought the cameras will all be off. But as soon as the power comes on, we'll stick them back on.
He's got loads of photos, Davo. We'll just have to put like a reel. Like all his best moments. We'll have to get your lads to send over the wedding photos, him necking shots with Billy McConnell.
You don't want to see them.
Speaking of
if you've got any videos like that, please bring them to us for the YouTube.
There's a few R-rated ones on my phone.
I bet.
Hand them over.
With
hand
old
them over.
Billy McConnell, who's always good for a couple of those sort of videos.
Good lad. Good lad.
Speaking of the commentating side of things, I know it's not what you wanted to be doing, obviously, the TT this year, but
You're shit hot at it.
You've shit hot, yeah. And I'm not just saying it because you're here. I've heard loads of people and people who you're working with complimenting you, and I've not been watching the whole thing because obviously I've been trackside for a lot of it, but all of the times that I have sat and watched it, you're a complete natural, and the insight that you're given, and just and honestly, I've been like unbelievably impressed with how you're getting on.
You.
Considering you're normally so quiet in a shell, you're never really outspoken. You've never been like that in your life.
Are you taking the piss?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No, but I totally agree with Chrissy. The shit, it is class.
Have you found it? I mean, have you found anything difficult, like say your language and stuff like that? Or
Sandy?
Not really. I sort of go into a different mode. I think it's probably similar to when I'm racing. When I'm in that headspace and I'm actually putting effort in, which it's well documented that not many people would know that I've got that side about me. But and you've got to, because obviously there's a lot of people listening, and you got to do the best of what you can, and especially in that global sort of a scale. Like I said earlier, if you freaking make a mistake or something goes wrong, it's definitely there's keyboard warriors will get you.
Well, I'm glad you actually brought that up again, because I was going to bring that point up earlier. I think the biggest viewings are in Australia and in America, which is absolutely...
And New Zealand as well, I hear.
That's absolutely fantastic. The fact that reach is getting there. It's always had a reach, don't get me wrong, but the fact that it's live and going out to there is absolutely class. So,
and I'm half Kiwi as well, so yeah. Just so they know, because my dad was born in Wellington, so...
You're ticking all the boxes on your son.
I'm half Kiwi, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though, I know I keep rubbing salt in the wound here, but I'm gutted not to see you around here on an R1, because you're definitely that rider that, for me, you've never been branded to a manufacturer, if you know what I mean. So Hillier's been so loyal with Kawasaki for years and years and years. Dean Harrison, you've got who's that fast lad? Hickman with the BMWs. You've always got that. You can just get on a bike and go 130 pluses, no problem on any flavour.
You just got to have when I come on a different bike, it's no different with the Norton. You just got to come with a clean slate, and I've got my in my head, I know on a short track and like Alton Park, for example, I know what a bike should sort of feel like to feel good here.
Yeah.
And I was so excited about bringing the Yamaha here. I just thought it had everything: the power delivery, the stability, and obviously it was fast as well. So I think it would have had everything, to be fair.
Speaking of the different manufacturers you've been here with, obviously I remember watching you on the Honda and on the Norton and the Gulf BMW.
Straight armour. Bottle of champagne when he got on the podium with the stock. Proper centre trend there.
Other than them three manufacturers, have you been on other manufacturers as well?
Triumph on the 675, and also a WK bike and in Super
Jesus.
Twin. Yeah, I was the first ever guy to ride a Chinese bike around here.
Wow. And it wasn't Gary Johnson then?
No, he rode it, but I raced it. He was actually riding. He tested my bike. I was not there the day of the first practice. I can't remember why, to be honest, but I missed the first practice, and Gary rode my WK bike just to see what it was like.
Right.
And then I raced it, but only got to the Craig.
Bit of a strange.
Faster the Craig though.
Not really.
Bit of a strange link. But can you remember a guy in that team called Ali Roland Rouse? I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
He was involved that year with he's actually staying in the trailer tonight.
Oh, right.
What, in the studio?
Yeah.
He's quite a smart guy, isn't he?
Yeah, very smart. Yeah, he's coming over. He lives in Switzerland, and he's coming over for a few days, and he needed a couple of nights. So
what's he doing now?
He works
He's a Swiss banker by the time. Here we go.
Jesus.
We're
back on.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we are. I think I'm having a good thing we don't have what do you call it, epilepsy.
Yeah.
No. It's like an afternoon practice in the sun. Like the strobe lights through the trees.
It's bad, that, isn't it? It's bad, like I said, because they've been struggling to get the laps in, haven't they? So they've been sending out the last 2 nights. Have sent out the sidecar lads before us, because they need to get the laps to qualify as well, don't they? So, and then we've been going out a little later, and the fact that the sidecars for years have always been last session, you think the respect of them lads is my respect for them is just going up and up and up, because I always get put to the back of the sessions, and the sun just gets so low around here, and at the moment I can't blink, so I'm just riding into it. I can't even shield me way from it, so darkness is literally my friend at the moment.
Well, I was speaking with Glenn about it, and he was struggling with that strobe effect of the light the light through the trees. And it's one thing, if you focus on how much it's strobing, then that's all you'll
focus on. Yeah.
If you're looking where you're going, once it's in your head, it's like something. Say once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, sort of thing. And that's that strobe effect. Once that's in your head, then you sort of, every time you're expecting it. But that's one thing I've always tried to look through that, look way down the road and sort of try and block it out.
You've probably got years and years of experience of strobing at nightclubs, so you probably just this is nothing.
All I see is a
Would you like this fizzy
DJ booth. Just focusing on the rhythm.
Go to it. And obviously it's the first time that we've been back to Ireland since the eye accident. How's the how's it been on track?
To be honest, everywhere it's been bad over here. It has been bad, just with the I didn't expect it to be, because I went to the northwest and it was all right there, and then Cookstown, Tamragee, I'm thinking, oh no, what, we're on for one here, but 37 miles is no joke. And to be honest, I came here not respecting the place enough. We've had 2 years off, we've had 3 years off, really, and you're like, yeah, I know where I'm going, everything like that, but your first 2 nights around here, you just, everyone's on, oh, here we go, the lights are back on.
No,
trying. Now we're back off. Jesus, that electrician's having a right laugh. He's either that or he's getting a pay rise or a pay cut, one or the other.
Rag and Bone Man took all the power away from the island.
Yeah, his bassy tones. But no, it's been a bit of a struggle, but we're getting, the more laps we do, the better it's becoming. It's that's and but no, I've been sick as a dog the last 2 nights, so I missed 1 night of practice. Well, I went out on the big bike, and then I pulled in at Kirkmichael, I got thrown up in my lid. So I pulled in at Kirkmichael, rode home, and right, no, not tonight. Went out last night, I did 1 lap on the BM, same thing again. Pulled in, I thought, I'll go out the 600, won't be as bad, same thing again. You push just as hard, don't you, in certain bits. I went, bollocks, I'll go out in the twin. And unfortunately, the conrod snapped and went through the gearbox.
Scheiße.
I tell you what, you could have used my arse cigar cutter. It was like, Jesus, it was a proper clean cut. But I was, I'm not just saying this because I'm in front of Davo, but it was blatantly a lap record as well. Blatantly a lap record. Unfortunately, didn't cross the line, so it didn't count, but you've got to keep the powder dry. When's this going out? Monday, shit.
Sunday night.
They are going well, though. It's a lot of people have been speaking about that.
Here we go.
Fact that after those couple of years off, even some of the really experienced guys are sort of struggling to get their bearings on even turning points and braking points. It's crazy that after that much time, you still those sorts of guys are still having trouble with it, which tells the story. That means that everybody's mere mortal, aren't they? Do you know, those guys are still struggling with it.
Joking aside about the strobing thing, that's one thing that when I'm watching on boards around here, that's one thing that I don't know if it looks worse on camera, but there's times where you're going through the trees where it almost completely blinds you. Does it feel like that when you're on board and you just kind of know where you need to be?
Yeah, well, they got the sun flags, don't they?
Which do nothing. They don't block out the sun at all.
I call them the no shit flag, because when you come up to it, you're like, what's that flag? And then you see sun on it, and you're like, yeah, no shit, because you can't see it because of the sun. So yeah, they're called the no shit flag.
The no shit. But it is no bad. It is so, isn't it? But like you say, you're looking for the next turn, but you just brace yourself for it. You're like, that God, here it comes, here it comes.
Do you know, in terms of this, I know there was quite a lot of safety measures and new procedures that were put in place for this year, one of them being the electronic flag lights around the circuit. And obviously we've got the warm-up laps when it comes to the racing. Has there been any other things that you've experienced, changes that you've experienced so far?
There's just loads of, there's bumps where there shouldn't be. And then we've lost bumps where we were using them as braking markers. When you come down the Quarter Bridge, that junction that comes out just before you go steep down it, there is no jump there whatsoever.
Oh, really? So you don't have to, because you used to have to gas it over that.
Well, that's it, yeah. So you're normally coming off, knocking it back a gear, and then drive it over, let the bike settle, then brake. That's what I was using as a braking marker. The first night I pulled on the bars. I shit you not, second lap came around, I went, where's this jump? And I was pulling on the bars. And I'm thinking, where is it?
Yeah, right.
Not there. Like stock 1000 coming straight down. And then you have to re-guess your braking markers. Opposite the ginger hole, right, you know the telegraph pole on your left that you aim to put your knee down, there is a jump there.
What?
Honestly, you've got to like brace yourself, tap, pick the bike up, it tangles, and then you let the bike settle and drive through again. It's just loads of little changes. But like you say, when you come up to like, is it Stella Maris? You know, before Ramsey Hairpin?
Yeah, that's all smooth as silk.
Oh my God, that is delicious.
Yeah, it looks like a bloody bowling green.
Oh, it just you just stick in it. It's absolutely class. Even when you even before that, coming up in the white gates. But there's loads of little reference points that have changed. But it is taking some getting used to. But who's been your standout at the moment so far? How do you think Glenn's doing? How do you know?
Well, Glenn's obviously doing really well. He's done 126.9 now.
Jesus.
So he's up there, and well, obviously Davey Todd's doing a good job, and he can't really. I think he's sort of the guy at the minute that's impressing everybody. But
100%.
It's with Hickey. Like, I mean, he's sort of everyone expects him to be there, but he's not done many laps on that superbike because he's had loads of problems with it.
I think
No slicks.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, he's still got a tread rear tyre as well. You got to remember that.
When you mention Davey, if you compare everybody to the previous best lap, most people are around 2 miles an hour off, 2 or 3 miles an hour off what they've done in the past, where Davey's went a mile an hour faster. So using that as a sort of scale, he's the one that's kind of stepped forward the most, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's a few more or less people are sort of fitting in where you'd kind of expect, I would say, so far. Oh,
Here we go.
Here we go. Bloody hell, that's bright, isn't it? There you go.
Yes.
Well, let me just
Stay on now.
talk amongst yourself, kids. I'll get the cameras going.
Have you had a chance to get around the track to spectate? Or...
No, because I've been in the commentary. That was one of the things I really wanted to do this year.
Yeah.
And then we got the schedule for the commentary, and I'm working every day. So it's not so much. I wouldn't say disappointed, but I wanted to get out to Gorse Lee. That was definitely on the cards.
Yeah.
Twins fired up again.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Speaking of Ghostly, I'm actually staying somewhere around there, and I'd just like to say a massive thank you to the Ingham family where I'm staying, Stephen and Leslie and Max. They've been lovely hosts, and really grateful for them putting us up for the week.
That's always a big thing here because accommodation is not easy to get around here.
Oh, you're right.
And if you do struggle, then next thing you're in a tent from Asda, and you're just wet the whole time. Most of the time, I had some mates come over from Australia a few years ago, and they went down to the supermarket, bought these £5 tents.
No way. We've gone down again.
The power outage, I think they've there's definitely a drama here on the Isle of Man.
Do you owe the tax man in Australia or something like that?
Of course
Because
I do.
every time the camera...
No, don't tell anyone I just said that.
Yeah, don't worry. We won't edit that bit out. Every time I try and get you on camera, it doesn't seem to exist.
I got my accountant's a good friend of ours, so he's looking after me.
Good. Speaking
Did I just say that out loud? Fuck.
Speaking of spectating, I've had the pleasure of getting out to a few real cool spots so far. So the first night I got here was end of Cronkyvardy, so just where we were talking about before, the 11th, so just the kink after the right hander at the end of Cronkyvardy Straight. And then second night I was just after Kirkmichael, and then you've got, is it Rencullen? Yeah, Rencullen, and then just after Rencullen, that fast right, is it Bishop's Court, that fast right hander? Yeah, so on the exit there, that was an awesome place to watch. Yeah, so fast. And then a little bit at St Ninian's Crossroads, and I can't remember where I was.
You've been all over the joint.
Last night I was watching just as you tip into Ballygarry.
Yeah, right.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I saw your video from there. Yeah. Who was that?
Well, I did one of Dom.
We don't know.
He was pushing. That was good.
Yeah, that was Dom on the orange one.
Yeah,
that was Dom.
That's as fast as I've gone on my fastest lap through there. I've never got anywhere near my knee down. Your knee was on the ground, pretty much.
Yeah,
it was close.
But you're my role model. We're chunky lads, son. You've got to get it over. You've got to get it over. I tell you what, even going back to the Davy Todd thing, and he did 196 through the speed trap,
Which is a record, isn't it?
190. I think Lee Johnson went through there at 187. I think that was the Don't quote me on that, but it was in the 180s anyway. And he was the fastest lad, and he's just like a paper bag on the back of a rocket ship, isn't he? And I think David Dodd did 196 mile an hour.
That was just before that engine went pop as well. So.
Yeah, it was
They usually go really high power just before the blow up, don't
That's
they?
it, yeah,
I think Davies actually missed quite a bit of practice because he had, I think the first night of practice his engine went up over the mountain.
That might have been Connor, because Connor had one on the first night. And then Davey.
Croy said he was following. It was definitely one of the Padgett's bikes up over the mountain, and there was oil like pissing everywhere, and he had to pull over. And then obviously Davey did the same over on the mountain. But yeah. And I tell you what, one person that's just been keeping his powder dry, but he's looking very, very good is Connor.
He always does, doesn't he? That's what he's like. And then on race day, bang,
second and third in Superstock last night, and and also Michael Dunlop looks like he's coming on stronger. Definitely, he was fastest in Supersport last night.
127.
He was a fanny hair off top in the Super Twin as well on the pattern. It was just Hickman that just pipped him, but I think there was 2 tenths. There were the last 2 to come through last night, and there was like 2 tenths, and there's them 2, and then quite a big jump at the moment.
Oh, there's one dude that not many people have been speaking about. I don't know why, but John Mcguinness is high 129 now.
Yeah, he's just chipping away nicely, John. He always does.
He's really, you got to look at, I mean, everyone's been away for 3 years, but he's been away, if you think about it, for a fair bit longer.
Yeah, but the Norton, and the leg. And
the leg, the Norton, and then your back. So how many years is that in total?
Jesus. So, do you know what I'm actually preferring when the lights are off?
Yeah.
My last feels the same.
It's actually quite nice doing the podcast in the dark. But,
I just got what he said.
But in terms of my plan is to try and get to as many cool places to watch. So obviously you've mentioned the back end of. Where did you mention? Gorsley, I've seen videos there before, and I'm definitely going to spend one night there. Where else do you recommend that I get to?
Up on the mountain would be awesome, but you get stuck there. Like some of the places up there, like even on the inside of the 32nd, Windy Corners, sort of, you can't get too close there, but any of the real fast places up there, entry into 33rd. Bungalow's quite a slow bit, but on enduro bikes, I know James Whittam and Drinky and another mate of ours too. James Whittam?
No, Drinky.
Drinky?
There's a bloke called Drinky.
Yeah, well, his last name is Drinkwater. Yeah. We work for him, don't we? In the race, he does the race schools for James Whittam. He drinks.
Drinky?
And he doesn't like water. He doesn't drink water. No, he doesn't.
Drinky, what a name. Shout out Drinky, lad.
Drinky, he's a lad.
Scarborough.
All right, I love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. Sorry, I've just knocked the flow yet again. Sorry.
That's all right. But they were on enduro bikes up on the inside of the track up on the mountain. So it's if you can do that, get on an enduro bike, you can get places where
I had a good night out on the trials bikes first night actually, and we parked up and then got to a few points. That was really cool. But I would like to do that up the mountain and get to a few.
There's one time I went up there because I was riding around it, and I got just before Casey's after Mountain Box and a Mountain Box, and then weaving you up towards Casey's. There were these guys on enduro bikes. There's about 5 or 6 of them like this. And it was obviously Dave Knight, because he takes people up there. He's a legend, but he was with Colin Edwards and a couple other American legends.
Bloody hell.
And they were just loving it. Like they couldn't believe what they were seeing. And getting to those positions.
Do you hook a gear out of cases on the big bike?
No, I hold 5th through
Come out the Mountain Box and then
up to 5th, 6th on a big bike, little bike, sorry, and then hold 5th on a big bike. Then come out of there and then back to 4th usually for maybe 3rd, depending on how it feels for
the twin you just hold.
What's that one called? Black box.
Black Hut.
Black Hut.
There you go.
Black box mountain bike. See, this commentary is like helping me learn all the names, because I know every corner, but like saying it and what it is. But I'm like, that right before the left after the jump. Like that's what it used to be like. But now I'm actually learning all the names and shit. It's good.
Education. I tell you what, I've got a request though, Chrissy. You can never ever take Kev Pinder anywhere, ever, because Chrissy did like this video And I'm flying through the turn, and it just pans onto his mate's Kev, who's like his spotter. So obviously his job is to analyse absolutely everything, and it just pans onto his face, and it's the most unimpressed face.
Was that Balagari?
Mate,
that was that video.
That was that bloke. He just turned and looked at Chris. He went, "Well, that was shit." And I'm just looking at this video going, mate,
I watched that.
Is 20 mile an hour going to make you happy? Another 30 mile an hour going to make you happy? What am I going to do to make you happy, mate? And like he just looks so unimpressed. It's unreal. We're gonna have to get him on the hot seat and find out the crack.
But he definitely fast through there. So
try it.
That's one point you don't need to worry about.
Just loads of little things, just like the worst thing about this place. The second you hit the brakes, it's like a stab in the heart. You're like, that was too early. That was too early. And then it's
where do you feel you're struggling at the moment?
The left and the right. Yeah, straight I've got nailed. You know what I mean? I've got full send on the straight. I tell you what, so you're talking. No way.
Oh, here we go again.
I tell you what, I think someone's pulling the plug just for the crack and putting it back in. I tell you, no, we're gonna get the videos, Chrissy. Don't you dare not put this on YouTube. We're just gonna get loads of dodgy videos of Davo. We're just gonna edit it in like a full sports reel fan. There you are. Oh, class. I tell you what, the darkness throws off the conversation, doesn't it? You have to rethink of something before someone touches each other up here.
Your team, the Rich Energy team, have obviously got that big hospitality rig that goes to all the BSBs north, and it was at the Northwest as well. It's set up as some kind of, is it artificial intelligence or automated reality?
Something like that.
What's it called? Automated reality, where you put goggles on. Have you had a chance to go up and check it out?
I've not, no. But they've hired it out off of the team, so
right.
It's the team's been kicked out. We just we're having dinner in the back of the pit garage there, or the pitched tent.
I think I was speaking to Alan about it. I think the idea is that at some point the putting cameras on each bike, and then you'll be able to kind of log in with the goggles, and you'll be like a 360 camera, so you'll be basically on board. So for example, you could, Dom's out on track, I could then put the goggles on and be on board with Dom, watching exactly what he's seeing, and you can like turn,
shit.
Can you hear it as well? Yeah.
And in terms of in the future, I think as a sort of experience, I think it sounds pretty cool. So
Next level future.
I'll have to have you been up to check that out?
No, I haven't yet. Nah. I keep going in to try and nick a coffee or a Rich Energy drink, and it's like the place is just abandoned. There's our bloody super twin again. We're cursed by this thing. So, what's the future hold for Davo then? Let's talk about the future of Davo. Let's get this. What were the extent of your injuries after becoming Superman and then discovering there's a thing called gravity?
Well, it's a pelvis injury, very small fracture to the front of my pelvis, but a lot of it is a muscle damage that. When I hit the ground, one of my legs about freaking hit me in the head. And that's just stretched everything. And also did a rib and fractured my collarbone as well. So, I mean, the pelvis, the collarbone and the rib, that's just standard for us, isn't it? Like, I don't even worry about that at all. But,
it's new.
But the pelvis, that was something I've never done before. I don't know if you guys have, but it's everything, like from laying down to like even just sitting up. Like that's all your core strength that you're using, and it all that comes from around the pelvis. And freaking nightman. Now I still can't spread my legs, so I've got to like do everything with my legs together, like even getting in the car to put my legs to the side of the bed to stand up. I mean, I could ride right now, but I'd need a step ladder to get on the bike. So when the decision was made to not ride, obviously it wasn't up to me at that point, because all my motivation was to try and get better quick so I could be here, because this is what I've been waiting 3 years for.
Yeah.
And the decision got made, and it was definitely the right decision, really. I mean, definitely for the brand, for the team, they didn't want that image of me rolling up, limping to the bike, and then getting lifted onto the bike, stepping on it with a step ladder. So which is fair enough, and I think I still might have done okay, but they don't want okay. They want me at my full best. That's what they're employing me to possibly win and get podiums. So it's fair enough, and I do respect their decision as well, because it's sometimes we do need to be protected from ourselves, because if we roll into it half-assed, that's when shit can happen.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Also, before speaking about people who have kind of impressed so far, speaking of the newcomers, obviously you mentioned Glenn, but also Nathan Harrison has been. I know he's done the Manx before, hasn't he?
He's done it a couple of times,
but first time
He's
at
flying.
the TT, and I think he was about 12th yesterday, 126-ish,
something like that. He's flying.
And in practice week, so very, very impressive.
It just shows what like British can do. You know what I mean? So they've got the team, the family team. You know, they've got a couple of Fireblades, a couple of 600s, and they're doing the job right. They're coming over the mainland doing British, and it just shows the skill set that it's showing. And he's a proper nice lad as well.
He is a good lad.
We'll have to drag him into the studio. Let's see if he's got any crack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's see.
Don't let me, last time everyone I speak to that he's been speaking to are just telling me, or he told them how pissed up I was at the TT launch.
You've never.
That's bro code. You don't tell everyone. So you got to have him on that. Just go, hey, he's up. That's secret rider stuff. We all have our downtime.
Class. And one person I've not seen much of so far is Brian McCormack. Obviously, he's been since the last TT. He's been doing. He had a full season and a half in Superbikes and also Super Stock. Have you whereabouts has he been on the lap chart so far?
He's been. It's about 125, I reckon, is that. So it's not too far away. But he's one of the BMW guys which have been struggling with the electronics.
Right.
He's been unsure about when he rolls off the throttle if it's even going to completely slow down because the butterflies staying open and stuff. But so the BMW electrician, what do you call him? Technician. I call him.
Hope it's not the same guy doing the paddock.
The tech dragons, ones on the laptops are like, try that, and they go, no, it's shit. Yeah, and then say, I call them tech dragons. I got that from Norton because when I was at Norton, there's loads of really smart people that were there. I mean, there's a lot of bad press about Norton.
Yeah.
But when I was there, and all the guys that were within the team doing what we did, there's some real smart dudes that have moved on to bigger and better things. And there's one dude that calls himself the Tech Dragon. I love it. And I use that now. So that's like anyone that's got a laptop and that's plugged into a bike. Tech Dragon.
Yeah. Do you know, in terms of the different manufacturers that you've raced over here, so we'll go through the manufacturers and give us your best lap speed on each one. So what did you do on the Norton?
130.8.
What did you do on the Gulf BMW?
131 something.
Like mid-31.
Yeah.
Honda?
I did 131 on the Superbike, 130.8 on the Stocker. 130.9 on the Stocker.
So all quite similar, considering they're totally different bikes.
My best lap was actually on the Smith's bike, and that was when I did my best, which is officially 131.59 something. But the thing is, in the last since 2016, 2015 was when I did my fastest ever lap. Since then, I've never finished the senior. Which is like, and that's the magical last lap of the senior.
Yeah,
and I've missed that. Lap. I've missed that since then, which is freaking eating at me because that's when you get your fastest time. And so what I've had to do is look at all my split times from pretty much everything to get right, just for my confidence. But my best ideal lap is 132.8 something.
Jesus,
so it's up there. But it's.
Do you know that last lap of the senior, is that the only lap that you do in the 2 weeks where you don't, you're not starting from scratch and you don't pull into the pits?
Well, you're doing the Superbike as well because that's the 6-lapper.
Yeah. All right.
But the senior is when it's at end of the 2 weeks and you're at your best, like over the week, or everything you've ridden, all the different bikes and all your mentality, you're just like, that's it, that's your time to shine. And if you miss that, it's you sort of.
The best advice I ever got was actually from my dad. And my dad he's raced around here for years, and he just says to us before you go, look, son, before you go, remember these are your last 6 laps for a year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When you put it like that, it doesn't sound a lot, does it? You know what I mean? You've got 6 laps left. You think, wow, not to go get a time. It's just to go out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You've got to wait a whole year till you're back there on a big one.
And I think that's why that's always the best lap for everybody.
Of course it is.
It's everybody's best lap for the whole 2 weeks is that last lap of the senior. I don't know anybody that's said otherwise, unless you've run out of fuel or something on the last lap. But
do you know in all of the different years and the different teams, different manufacturers, do you have anybody that's the same, like with you at each team?
No, it's sort of been a bit intermittent with that. Like it's always different guys. But with
you can make friends with Hitler, you know what I mean? You're just the most lovable man in the paddock.
Yeah, there's like pretty much everybody that I was working with, I know him from the past anyway, from BSB or whatever. So,
and do you know when you lined up on Glencrutchew Road and you're just about to set off, what's I presume different team manager, whoever you're left with, will like say different stuff to you. What's been like the best thing someone's ever said to you just before you go?
Yeah.
Nothing really springs to mind, to be honest. Everyone just said the same thing. Good luck, have fun.
I know the answer. Billy McConnell. Just send it.
Yeah. No, Billy looks at me, he's like, he looks more scared than I am, because that's the way he is. He's a very emotional fella. Is
that the standard kind of parting words before you leave for the TT? Do most people just say like, good luck, have fun?
Yeah, and 2 pats on the back, because that's what my dad always used to do when I was, from when I started. There's always 2 pats on the back and then go. And when I rode for... PR Racing, and I did a fair few years. You've ridden for them as well, yeah?
No,
not them, no. John Jamison Senior. He knew that I liked that, and every time he went out, he made sure he come up, patted me on the back twice. Good. Yeah, it's awesome.
Who do you have as the last person with you before you set off, or is it different people for different classes?
When I'm on Fran's bikes, it's always Fran.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's always that. You know what I mean. It's 100% Fran. But it's weird, Hickley did an interview not too long ago, and it's weird, that start marshal is the last person who before you go off down the road. It's surreal. Do you know his name?
It's a different guy this year as
well. I know. What's all that about?
Because that's the same old guy that used to do it. Like I've got heaps of photos of him with his hand on my shoulder. I don't know. I mean, I bet you $100 that John Mcguinness knows his name, because John knows everything about it.
I've just thought,
he's awesome.
Do you want to stop the lights coming on and off? Do you want to just turn them off so it's not like on and off all the time?
I'll just keep my glasses on. I'll just look like a pervert in a black caravan with 2 lads.
With the relationship that you have with your chief, like that's quite an important thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've never had a bad relationship with a chief mechanic at the TT ever, and every single one that I've had, Sonny is supposed to be my chief this year, but his obviously we're not racing, but he would have been. He's a good mate of mine, and it would have been amazing to have him here. And Darren.
I was just adjusting my.
And Darren Gilpin from Honda. We're still really good mate. No, I've had Spider as well. I've had Spider not at the TT, but in other places.
I was about to say, just give him cigarettes.
Keep he loves it.
Yeah, right there, just go faster.
No, this is Darren from. He took over Wilson Craig. Yeah.
Yes,
and we had a really good year, and it was all because of our relationship and how well we got along. Is why we really progressed at Honda there. We had at that point in time, after Honda had so many bad years, and Hachi was having a nightmare as well, who was my teammate. And so we were just like doing our thing. They were stressing out doing their thing, and we were just happy as doing our thing. And the way we went, and then we ended up getting a podium on the Stocker, which is like, no one ever thought that was going to happen.
No, not with that particular
that
bike.
Old school bike, it was 20 horsepower down or whatever on the Beamers, but that's sort of so important, is the relationship you have with your chief. And every single one that I've had, like it was Andy at Golf BMW, who's still with Sean Muir now in the World Championship.
Yeah,
and that we had a good relationship as well, and we all keep in touch, and we're all still good friends. So it's so important, and I don't think you can move forward definitely at the TT if you don't have that relationship with your chief.
Does Sean have a presence in the paddock this year?
He was here. I think he's still involved with the hospitality stuff, because he's got his helicopter now. He texted me actually. He's saying about the commentary, and I was doing a good job, which is thanks, Sean.
Shout out, Sean.
And, cheers, bro. And but he flies his helicopter. Everything is coming back for the race.
All right, but he doesn't have anyone out on one of his bikes, or
no.
I presume there might be a link between the Hutchie thing and Milwaukee.
Possibly, yeah, because he was always Milwaukee,
yeah.
wasn't he, Sean? Yeah, I know that he knows the Milwaukee guys really well, so there must be a link there. But it'd be good to see him back if he does come back. I think if he's here in his helicopter looking at it again, I think he may be back next year. You never know.
There we are. Who would be your dream teammate for the roads here?
Teammate? I don't know. Well, me and James get along really well. Like,
you kiss ass. Come on, just because he's part of the same team.
It's like I say, it's someone who you don't mind sharing information with. Like if you come in and you're like, you sort of don't want to give them information, you don't want anywhere near you, sort of like beating you.
That's a difficult thing in this sport, isn't it?
It's a very difficult one because
it's a freaking selfish sport.
Yeah,
and it's all about you at the end of the day, and you want the best for yourself. And if you got a teammate that doesn't want to help you and vice versa, then you're up shit creek. But because I've had teammates in the past where it's might as well have been a freaking line down the garage, and his bike is so different to mine, and his information, he didn't like my bike and vice versa, so it's so different.
From my experience, I think within teams, the best way the team infrastructure can work and the camaraderie between the riders is when there's a clear number one and number two in the team. I think it gets really complicated when it's it's not obvious who's number one and number two, because that's when because some one person will do better and all the sort of attention, and it's impossible not to feel like you bastard and then want to do better, and it then gets confusing, and I think that's when it gets difficult when it's established that I think that's
number one. Because at Honda, like, me and Hutchie get along really well, and there was no, if I asked him a question about settings or whatever, he would have always told me what he was having. I could have looked at, I did look at his data, and if he needed to, he could look at mine. But I had the feeling there, it was a joke, the running joke. Like, I was just the other guy, like, in that team. And it was clear they were putting all their eggs into Hutchie's basket because he's a 16-time winner around here, as you would as a team. And I was just there to sort of be the other guy. and I knew that, and that sort of motivated me quite a bit.
But
yeah, there is, when that is the case, I mean, as number one and number two riders go, I didn't get anything different.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. So if you're a number two rider and you haven't got the same bits as the number one, which I've been in that situation before as well, that's fucked, because that's like, you just know for a fact, like, before you even get to the track, that you're going to be half a second slower straight away because you haven't got the same bits. But that's at Honda, there was always every egg, like I say, was in Hutchie's basket, but I wasn't getting anything different, so which was good for our progression moving forward. So it worked out well in the end. Mm-hmm.
Do you know, with the injury, when are you likely to get back on a bike, do you think?
Probably as always you had. I bet you
have. No, I haven't actually. I've really just switched off from. I did have a bit of a tough time of just freaking not. I don't know what depression is as such, but I suppose I would have got quite close to it. But and I'm staying at Billy's house, so he saw that as well.
Yeah.
And he just came back and bloody bought me a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I was happy.
Good lads, that's what friends do.
No, but you could see I was upset, and he took me out and just crazy me about. But
I can totally understand that, like, missing it. You build your whole life around this event, and then just someone to go, like, well, that injury, the injury to go, look, you're sitting this year out. It would be. I wouldn't want to think. I really wouldn't want to think about it.
No, it was not good. And I was in hospital when it was all kicking off. And it wasn't a good time, but and I think with Alan, at the end of the day, had to make the decision, and like I say, he was protecting me from myself, which sometimes you need that, and I respect him for that. But I don't think he realised how much it hurt. But like I say, but it needed to be said, and he had to make the tough decision. But yeah, that's racing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's one of them things as well. At the moment, if it's like really raw and stuff, but you know, when you look back over, if like it sort of fades into insignificance.
Yeah, well,
later on.
I'm thinking of it. It's I mean, everything happens for a reason, and that's happened. And now I've got the commentary gig, and that's going really well. So there's the positives out of the negative. Is what I always look at, and it's and you have to be positive all the time.
When you finish the TT, are you going back to Oz?
Yeah, I changed. I was going to
married,
stay.
Remember?
Yeah. I've got a dog too.
What dog you got?
Well, there's a story behind that. My missus, she watches this. She'll probably want to hit me when she gets back, when I get back. But
what, you going back in a month? It'll be all right.
Couple of weeks, yeah.
Couple of weeks.
But so I'm allergic to like dogs with hair. And so I
I want one of them. I want one of them like
baldy,
like you know, like the cats. You know, them cats that have no hair on them. They look mental. They look like walking foreskins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, is there a dog that has that?
Oh, there are little dogs with I can't remember. They pretty much look like those cats, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so I was like, I want to get a little dog with no hair. That'd be sweet. And we ended up with a long-haired German Shepherd, which is about this freaking big, and there's like long hair. So yeah.
And you're not allergic to it?
I am. I can't pet him, but if I,
man's best friend, not in Davo's.
I do when I'm drunk, and then I'm like, look like I've got pink eye. But my wife, she wanted a German Shepherd real bad. That's all every dog she's had is a German Shepherd. Yeah, with that, she's like, "You'll get over it." And then she bought the dog, and then she bought like a big packet of one of those. So what are they called? So you don't allergy tablets or whatever. Yeah. So she was like, "Here's our dog, and here's the tablets." So she was adamant that she was going to go German Shepherd, and we did. Class. So that was right.
Do you know, we're speaking about over like the Isle of Man before, and there's so many cool things about over here, like just things that are different back home, and it's you can just sense it's like such a special place. But I've got to say, I would probably say it's my favourite thing about being over here is the people feel like they can just leave the doors open, they can leave the car open, do you know, back home, especially in certain areas in the country, you like got a lock and triple lock and alarm,
especially
everything.
Where you guys live.
The second time we're being rumbled in this thing.
So,
yeah.
No, but do you know what I mean?
It's Oom TV.
I've been up there. I love that up there. It's a good party life up your
great,
way.
isn't it? But yeah, you're always, you know, like security conscious, and it's just so nice to over here, like how chilled everything is.
It is, man. And it's only practice week. Even the first night of practice felt like race week already. It's just the vibe of this year is just ridiculously crazy. It's good.
I tell you what, every night you go out, there's just the hedges getting fuller and fuller and fuller. And when you wake up, you get out your van, it's just, it's come race week. It's going to be mental.
Oh,
but I tell you what, I must give it, like, there was actually an announcement on Facebook. Anyone's listening to this, like, on Sunday night or Monday, seriously, lock up your vans, though, because there's kids going around, like, going in the vans. I know you've just said a lovely speech about how you can leave the doors unlocked and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's right, though. He's right. You know, the fact that you can leave your keys and your bike down at the front. No one's going to nick
I
the
hope
bike.
those kids aren't listening. No.
Oh, no, I hope they bloody are.
They took some stuff from Crowe.
Yeah, it was my stuff.
I've
lent it to Crowe, yeah.
What have they nicked off you?
Tyre warmers. They're like 600 quid tyre warmers as well. I lent them to Crowe for this, and they got shifted on the first night.
If Crowe got his hands on him, he could actually throw them into the sea from here.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens. To be fair,
sure,
yeah.
I know. I meant more like the sort of the residents of the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
It's like that chilled. But when obviously for the TT, you've got so many people coming over. You know, it's impossible to control. Everyone, there's going to be some bad eggs that come over, but I just mean in general.
I 100% agree. I'm just saying, anyone who's listening to this in the paddock, just keep your eyes open, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's Steve Plater said a good term. He like trophy hunters. It's that kind of thing. People trying to come in and nick stuff, you know, just from the racing. Because remember when Hickman got his levers nicked?
Yeah,
that's a BSB.
You know what I mean? That was BSB, wasn't it? That's class. What's the best thing you've stolen?
Stolen?
Go on,
nicked.
Or had stolen from you?
I used to be a bit of an arsehole when I was a kid. I got some of my dad's mates from back in the day. He had like a Harley dealership over there. And when I was a kid, up to when I was 9, I was like a little fucker. I used to, I'll probably, if I didn't go to a good school, I'd probably be in jail right now. But
next best thing, professional motorcycle race.
Yeah. But so I did steal bits and bobs, but
you see.
I stole a load of baseball gear once from my school.
Class.
But so when my one of my dad's workers, he like when I rolled in and catch up with him when I'm starting to be a grown man, like in my teens, he's like, I don't know how you turned out so well, mate, because you're a little fucking prick when you're a kid.
When's the autobiography coming out? You've got to write an autobiography.
Could do.
I bet there's some good stories there, mate. You and Billy McConnell alone on the parties, I think it'll be absolutely savage.
That'd be a fair book, but maybe one day.
One day.
Yeah.
One thing that I haven't mentioned so far is so just before the TT, obviously there's the pre-TT down at the Milan Circuit Southern 100, and it's for the classics. And Dom had an extremely successful couple of days down there, absolutely smashed it. And I was trying to keep up with all the live timing and the results and on your 130 page and stuff. But I've seen your trophy collection down at the bottom there, so very well done, mate.
Good work,
absolutely
mate.
Class. What give us a quick rundown of like the races you were in and the results.
Like the 350 up to the 1000cc race, the 500 race, and the 250 two-stroke. I was gutted about that. Clutch went on the line, just went off. I was absolutely devastated because only got 5 laps on it. The first night, what happened to the bike? What happened to the bike?
Is this one of John Chapman's 250s?
John Chapman's 250. Oh, mate, they're gorgeous. And every person in this paddock will only ever call you a proper motorcycle racer if you've ridden a 250 or like a two-stroke either, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, this is my opportunity. Put it on pole. I'm feeling this. And just the clutch went. I was absolutely devastated.
You got to rev the nuts out of them and flange the clutch, don't you? So it's it absolutely murders the clutch, those 250s.
But no, unfortunately, John Chapman, I'm absolutely gutted from because I was really feeling it for that. But no, got the lap record on the 500, and it's one of those events because Jamie Coward was in it as well, and Jamie knows his way around there, and Alan Oversby, who else is in there? Rob Hodgson. There was a lot of TT riders going around. But
I heard there was one race that was you was all together. Which
that 350 race, I ruined it. I won it.
So Adam was in it as well, wasn't he?
Adam McLean.
Yeah.
I tell you, I had to make a harsh move on him in the Iron Gate. I came up to apologise after because Adam McLean's one of them riders. If he gets a sniff of victory, you're not getting by him. If you know what I mean, after turn 1, you're just going down the Iron Gate, and I went, if he goes around Iron Gate, he think he win this, and I just went, I'm not going to get by him. He just broke, and I just went Hail Mary for it. Best bit of advice I got round there was only brake when you see Jesus. You know what I mean? I was there it is.
Speaking of Adam, obviously he was down to be at the TT this year, but I presume the team made the decision to withdraw just because they haven't had enough testing time and they didn't feel prepared enough for the Alaman TT.
They've been to Spain twice.
Well, it's their decision.
Oh, no, I'm not slagging it off. I'm just saying it's...
And fair play to them. It's a long old game, and I very much respect the decision, for whatever reason it's been made, but the fact that they didn't feel obliged to have to be here and on sort of safety grounds kind of waited until next year. So I think that's the sort of thing, especially I think Adam's about the same age as me, 26ish, and it's a long old game.
I didn't do the TT till I was 28.
Exactly. And I think in the future you could maybe look back and think that was a very wise decision. So
couldn't agree
more. A miss from the paddock though, obviously.
Oh, the definitely team the McIntyre team, and Adam, But he, like you say, he was down there having a right good chog round, but he's looking forward to coming back. I don't know if I'm trying to think what's the next event after this. Is it the Southern? I think on the road race
classic or the Manx Classic for me.
Hold on, there we are. The future. Are we going to see you back over for the Classic TT? Is
definitely?
That the
plan? Got to work out obviously the finer details of with what's going on because a lot's changed. It's not the Classic TT anymore. I'm sure I've done the deal with the guy that owns the bike, Alistair.
You're back
with
on the
same bike. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Alistair Cowan. That's his last name, yeah.
He knows
He's a legend, yeah.
he knows them things like inside out. You know
He's
what
a
I mean?
perfectionist.
He carries jets in his pocket. That says everything about a carb tuner, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
You've won that on that bike before,
Yeah.
haven't you? Yeah.
He pissed it on that bike. Never mind, won it.
It was head-to-head with Dunlop, but he had I think it was his battery or something on the last lap, but doesn't matter. I won. Win's a win.
Damn right it is.
But it was head-to-head. When we left the pits, it was like I was in front, he was in front, so it was. And then by the mountain, he got a gap. But yeah,
I tell you what, are they bringing in them S-Rads?
yeah.
That's shit.
Well, it's
That's shit.
They've got to be, as far as I know, they've got to be 750 capacity, which the older bikes were like, I think we're 788 or even more. So
we need to bring them into park because they're like proper race, like proper things, aren't
they? And the 82 bikes, like what Dunlop was on the XR69, that's 1200 capacity. So that's the newer you get, the lesser capacity. So I think ours are even over 800. But these 92s, then the 96s, as far as I know, going to stay 750 like maximum.
I tell you what, though, I'd say I would not want their job to try and keep this sport, and that's what it is, though, isn't it? It's a sport that you need to keep competitive across all the fields, but you're bringing in a lot younger of a bike.
Well, it's nearly a modern bike, that. Like the Strat, well, that's like, well, what is it? It's 96, and they didn't change up until like 2000, until they went to thousands.
Exactly.
So it's pretty much a modern bike.
Yeah, exactly. So it will be interesting. It's going to be hellish, and like you say, there's a lot of changes, a lot happening. So until things get fully finalised, but are we not going to see you back at there? Like, come on, give us some juice, man. Give us some juice. Is that literally going to be you till the Classic TT?
Yeah, well, I'll go back to Australia and just like recover properly, and I'll do some rides out there. I won't race, but yeah, I definitely lost me sort of drive with it all. So I just want to just get better for the Classic and put a lot of effort into that, and then focus on next year.
Good man.
Yeah.
Do you know, speaking of, obviously you mentioned about Billy helping you out, like when but it's, and I know this from experience, it feels it's such a lonely place when you've had a big crash in your sideline, because do you know the whole circus, it's obviously good that you've been involved with the commentary, you've been brought into that, but imagine there's lots of riders that have a crash like yourself just before, and they're like literally turn up as a spectator, and they're just kind of, you just feel like you're massively in it, and
not
then
wanted,
and it's such a lonely place that
that's when the game though, isn't it? It's nothing personal to each and any of us, but like you say, it's part of the. Unfortunately, it is, but you're very, very lucky that you have a personality and have everybody in common. You know what I mean, though. And it's like you're very like no. It's great that you're doing this job, mate.
I know we had Joe Ackroyd on ages ago, and we were talking about is there anything that we could all do together to set up some kind of for that particular reason, sort of like when you have had a crash, there's
basically like a pub with all of us in it.
You don't feel like you.
I'm in.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying though? Because it's a very difficult place, and I'm pleased that
it's after so long, and then all of a sudden it happened. I mean, it's never happened to me before, a TT, like getting injured, and when I first began doing it, I was all BSB anyway, and then did the TT. As a part of my year, it was just an added thing. But now it's like it's become sort of everything now. Like especially, at my age, I've raced you in BSB, and my time there is sort of like obviously riding at a top level, what you got to put into it, and to get the results and move forward in that, it's a lot that you got to do, and I'm sort of past that now. Really, like I know I can still be fast, but I've got other things in my life now that I'm focusing on.
Yes.
But the TT, that's one thing that you can actually at an older age, if you're still fast, like on a bike in general, you can come here and you can still win races up until you're 50. Like even later. Look at Mcguinness now. He's over 50 and he's only just, but I think he can get a podium.
Damn right.
And
I hope he does. Imagine the world would go nuts.
Everyone would be chuffed about
I know that Kurt, his brother, he's going to organise a mass naked run down the promenade if he gets a podium, and I'll be in on that.
I'll be in on it at all. 100%.
Let's do it.
100%. Sign me up. Go in there.
I just had a
Got a bit awkward there. Awesome.
No, we were talking about people that are doing really well. When I was watching, I'm not a massive sidecar sort of, I watch it when it's on, but like I'm not massively into it. But Harry Payne, I think it's his newcomer year as well this year.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, is it?
So.
I think it's his first year here, but anyway, at Balagary the other night, watching them all go through, and obviously you expect the top guys, you kind of know who's fast, but then I think he was kind of mid-pack, and it was one of them where like he came through, and me and Kev looked at each other like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So if it is
don't live there.
if it is his newcomer year, he looked so comfortable, like really, really impressive through there. Proper good.
I tell you what though, no one's getting near the Haves, mind. When you look at the times, they have just got, their powder is so dry, it's unreal. The amount of work and development that they've put into that new chassis. But the problem is, it's just a little bit loose on the front for them. So once they get a bit of front weight to steer.
I don't Birchall's.
Yeah. No, what did I say?
The Haiths.
Sponsored by the Haves. Sorry. They're all family. They're all Yorkshire. There you go. Sorry, yeah. Thank you. There you go. I see. So no, like you say, the Birchall's. Once that's it, they're away. Like they are away.
I tell you what was weird. So I did my one and only lap of the course. Obviously, like during normal hours, if you like. But yeah, I did that yesterday and followed a good friend and sponsor Alan Towell around. So he toured us around and. It was really, really, really enjoyed it. There's loads of
full throttle over the mountain mile.
Well, Alan left us, to be fair, but I tried.
That's quite difficult. Like it's a straight.
You know what? Townley's never going to leave that alone. You know. Smoked him over the mountain. Smoked him over the mountain.
Stop for a coffee and let us catch up. But I was flat out on the bike. I was on a Kawasaki Z900 RS. Lovely bike.
Sponsored by Colchester Kawasaki.
It was. Very kindly lent us it for the week, and I mean it's more of a, it's not like a sports bike. Doesn't have a
boring your son. Is he boring you when it's slow time? Shit crack.
But I tell you what was weird though, from doing the podcast and talking about different bits of the track, and then sort of like for example, all the time people mention about from Ginger Hall to Ramsey has been like, and then I was riding on the road and feeling like loads of bumps, even like at like super slow speed. You sort of relate to what people are saying, and like it. I just love the experience of just seeing like names that I recognise and I'm used to watching on the TV and on the live stream and stuff. But it's so
and
cool.
Seeing you get like excited about it, you're a top BSB rider, and I mean just for the people outside watching, that's what you just got to get it and experience it and come on your bike, but don't be an idiot over the mountain. That's the main thing.
That's it.
Because it's a crazy like seeing how you're feeling about it. Like that's just what almost. As a spectator, you sort of get the similar buzz to what we do as riders, as racers. So it's good, isn't it?
If you spectate in the right places, you get such an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's like so cool. But we've got a few Patreon questions, but just like to mention, obviously we lost Mark Perslow the other night, and for all of his like friends, family, team, obviously we send our regards. And I didn't get to meet him myself.
Yeah, I knew him really well. They used to go out drinking with him, but that was his the lap prior was his fastest lap at 120 mile an hour, and he's always wanted to get over that. So the lad was definitely going the right direction. He won first year he came in with the Manx. He won the newcomers race as well as the lightweight race. The lad was just horrendously Welsh. And he owned used to build aluminium tanks for the classic lads, and he was a serious front runner in classic race. And also he could just get on a bike and go. And he'd he lived for it. He absolutely lived for it. And his dad's just got over it and stuff like that. And yeah, the whole family, they absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. But no, like you're saying, yeah. Mental.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. He's from what I think I've only spoke to him briefly, but top bloke from what everyone's speaking about him, and from what I've met with him as well.
It's quite a unique sport in the sense, a little bit like for when people were in the army, you'd have to have like that a special. I mean, most sports don't have to deal with fatalities on like a reasonably regular basis. Do you? And I guess this question to you both: do can you kind of park it to one side and then like leave your grieving until like after the event? And do you kind of have the mindset of it, like it won't happen to me type of thing, and just kind of carry on doing what you're doing?
I think it is to a certain degree. Like I remember Mcguinness having a conversation with someone about it, and he's always, and like you just said, the mentality of it's not going to happen to you. But it's when it does happen, it's hard. But my first year was when Paul Dobbs died, and same at Ballygarry as well. And I rode past just after it, and this is my newcomer year, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is not. The race didn't even stop. And it was that, and moving on from that is the point as a newcomer. If it's not pretty much if it's when you see that or experience it, if you don't come up on it, if you carry on from that means that means you're going to move forward at the TT. If you can't, you just might as well stay home.
Mm. Like I've lost a few friends around here, and you do say to yourself, it's like, would they want you to stop? And they wouldn't, would you? It's like, the thing is, the second you go off down Bray Hill, you know if you want to keep doing this. And if you don't pull off, you want to stay here, don't you? And it's just the most incredible place. And I think, when you go like talking about that point of like, it won't happen to you, I think personally it could happen to any of us. I feel like that when I go about it, like it could be you, but if you thought shit, it could be me, you wouldn't be on the bike pushing. Not far from it, but it's such a different mindset. It's almost egotistical to think, oh, it's not going to happen to me. But you've got to dump that out your mind that it could, because you wouldn't go fast. But it is still part of your mindset.
And one other thing I always sort of focus on after that happens is I like to know why they happen, like how they crashed.
Almost to clear it in your brain.
And also I can learn from their mistakes, which is like, there's a lot of people that have made a lot of mistakes around here, and that's just what you want to avoid doing. And like the last one, I mean, I was behind Dan Neen. I started off directly behind him in that practice lap, and it's unsure how that actually happened, that crash, but I know that he was going for it. Like,
it was on for a 33, did a 32 the night before. He was flying.
Well, he started with Rudder in front, and I started with Dino just behind.
Yeah, because we're not doing pairs anymore, are we?
Yeah, no,
we're doing
not this year. Yeah,
single file this year.
That was one thing that we were talking about earlier about differences this year. I forgot to mention that, but
but when we took off, like, got down to Quarter Bridge, and then next thing, Dino was on a mega lap, and he just full throttle, like barely even stood the bike up, and a big black line out at Quarter Bridge, and then just started pulling away. I was like, fuck that. And it was literally a night that everyone was just pushing like mad. And even when we got stopped, there's only 4 of us that I went past the incident, and they stopped us. Or Dino went on, he saw a lot of it, like it freaked him out, and he carried on towards up on the mountain more, and me and Rudder stopped at Ramsey Hairpin. And as soon as we took our helmet off, and Rudder was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, everyone's just pushing like fucking mad. Like, he actually was a bit upset. Like, it was only 3rd night of practice or whatever it was. And just about, and all the pressure as well that was started to be put on lap times. And it's a similar thing this year, to be honest. But it is. And then you got, when you talk to the experienced guys, John, Hilliam, a teammate, everyone's just sort of pushed, like sort of going at their speed and progression. They're not like trying to force things, which I mean most people are, to be honest. But there, media wise, there's a lot of hype on lap times, which I don't think is a good thing in practice.
No, totally agree.
But that's how it is. It's not for everybody, this place, but it's something that I doesn't matter. I mean, all being through all this and sort of being hardened up to it, it's something that I can't get out my veins now, and I can't wait to ride around again.
And that's the thing, and for us, it is the world's greatest sport, and every rider feels the same.
Speaking of that, do you think you'll struggle to walk away from the sport because it's
he can barely
such
walk at the minute. He's not even doing that now.
Do you know, like when it gets to a time where you know you still feel like you can do reasonably well, maybe not as competitive as you are now, but like obviously it's a natural thing as you get older. You're probably going to get less competitive later on in your life. I would find it so difficult to have something that I love so much and still walk up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean, because like with like the guys that retire early, like 27, freaking in a 30, even Tommy Hill, who's been helping out with the team a lot, he's retired early at a still a high level.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell he did that. Like how you could do that. Like it'd just be. Well, I know that. Well, Carl Fogarty, I'm pretty sure it's been noted that he had dramas with post-retirement because he wasn't old when he retired. I just, like you said, if I'm still competitive and I'm enjoying it, there's no point in stopping. Like, and if I still get a job out of it and sort of helps pay some bills, like I'm going to keep doing it if I'm enjoying it. But if I get to that point where I'm struggling to sort of get a ride where the results aren't there because it's all results based, you don't get results, you don't get paid. It's as simple as that. And if I'm not competitive anymore, then I will just walk away because I do love it. I love motorbikes in general. I've been brought up with it, so it's just it's in the blood.
It's definitely the financial element that would stop. It would definitely stop me. Because like you say, if I won the lottery, I would do this for the rest of my life. Till they physically just said, look, Dominic, you're 93, son. I think you're going to, you know what I mean? You're going to have to wind it down, but fuck off. You know what I mean? But it's the money thing. And, you know, the faster you go around here, hopefully the more support you get and the more a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And, you know, and the more money you get, the faster you can go, the bigger the kick. And you're like,
and the safer as well, the better teams you get.
Well, of course it is. But then the thing is, you need them results to counterbalance that. But if I was a multi-millionaire, you'd be just going around skids and wheelies and like, where mate? You would be, wouldn't you?
Dom's dad was racing down at Balan.
Oh, really?
He got a trophy as well.
Put it on pole and change too many gears, and the silly nugget bloody dropped back to third. He changed 3 teeth on the rear on a 125, and I think, Dad, what are you doing? So no, he had a right good tussle around, and Heffer Owen took the win on that one. And it was nice to see me dad back on a podium, but like he obliterated his femur at the mountain box. 750 gearbox.
When was that?
Some classic TD 2019. You know the one night of good practice that we had.
Yeah.
My dad red flagged it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's if you want to have a go at him, he's down there. I'll tell you that.
I was already broken down by then.
Well, there you are.
I was on my way back.
Do you know, can I just say what's so funny is I was speaking to your dad about the bike and stuff, and he was going through like what problems he was having with the suspension and stuff, and I can just see you, like I can see you inside him, and like the way you describe the bikes and everything's like so similar. And
so
we don't have a clue, you mean?
No.
Are you telling me this?
It was, and he was like getting animated and excited talking about it, but it's exactly like what you do.
I know. There's you going. He has no idea, like his son.
You're telling me there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
No. Me and my dad are poor. Like obviously, you know, he is my sperm donor. So there is going to be some gene tie there. But no, it's my dad's very respectable, liked, very forthcoming.
How old is he now?
My dad's Grace, can you bleep this out? Seriously, bleep this out, Grace. But he's 62. He's 62, but
still going.
He still wants to race bikes.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? My dad is my biggest hero for that sole reason, because he just wants to race bikes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Awesome.
And he just wants to keep racing around here. Like, he had the pin removed out of his femur so he could go racing again. Because I said, if you bend that pin, we'll take your leg off. He goes, well, take the pin out then.
Yeah.
The NHS love my dad. Like, oh, here he comes again. But he's just...
First name basis.
He just wants to... You know, my dad's not wanting to win, but he just wants to improve on himself. He just wants to race.
That's what it's all about. That's when you don't feel that way anymore, that's when you want to finish.
And that's the thing, but like... It's because I can't. If I didn't have the sponsor that I have now, like I cannot. And I put every penny that I earn into this racing, and it's just like I don't get paid to race, no nothing. But I'm just scared of not being able to afford to do it. It terrifies us. But the higher up the ladder you go, the better gear you need, the better bikes, the better this, the better that. And I know that's cheddar. That's all cheddar, isn't it?
And you're with a good team though, so that's good, isn't it?
Well, that's it. I've got lads that I can trust and everything like that, you know. And it's just like to take that. Like what I would love one crack, 1 year, to have a go in a... Like, the accountants know that, but they don't have Motec, they don't have, like, we don't have suspension data, we don't have any of that. We're just, pulling the bike out and we can do what we can with what we've got.
You're not far away from that next level. Like, it's just a little bit more progression. And then you'll impress someone. Like, look at...
I'm about to do a lap with you, mate. This progression's going to come overnight. You watch.
Because Sean Anderson's been given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I've been speaking about him a lot. He comes up on the TV quite a bit. And that's... I mean, you're only young still. How old are you now?
I don't know. Bleep this out. They are. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying I'm young, fresh-faced. They are. That's the main thing. But no, it's like but no, our first...
Didn't answer my question, did it?
No, I never will. I'm going to be like, what do you call him? Stalker Walker. No one knows his age.
I'm saying, you got time. You got time. So, you're... And that's my whole mentality in racing is if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. And that's what you'll get, that opportunity to prove yourself, and that's what I've lived by, and it's not proved me wrong yet.
You know what I'm scared of most this year? It's not where I finish in the race or something like that. It's like I've rambled on about it on the show so many times. It's that 130. I did a 129.6 or whatever it was, but I've recently buried a chainsaw into my head, and obviously I've got that injury in that. But I'm generally scared of not progressing this year, even if it was 29.9. It's seeing that progression. Every time I've ever come here, I've gone a little bit quicker, and it's like for me.
It's all relative though, because this year after that's 3 years away, there's a lot of guys that ain't gonna progress. So you just got to stay positive because it's not the best year for that.
The Colchester Kawasaki Scale Challenge.
Let's have it. So the straight
wedding ring.
I got metal in both hands.
Straight arms and then just squeeze as hard as you can.
Class.
Do I get a practice one?
Yeah, go for it.
Hang on, this is gonna be shit.
Let's get up to about...
I'm blind.
I think we got up to 12 there, which is good.
Did it?
Yeah,
That's
12
hellish.
strong.
Have you?
And
So-
then,
What's best? 14 or something, isn't it?
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Rory Skinner was banging them out for a giggle.
Was he?
I tell you, here we go.
12 and a half.
12 and a
Good
half.
effort.
Good lad.
effort. What
tell you
metal
what,
have you got in there?
Just metal, yeah.
Speaking, are we on? He put out on social media, so we're allowed to talk about it. Is that how social media works?
I wouldn't even made the top 10 there, would I?
Not sure. I'll have to get
He'll be at home now, like strength training.
Yes. I'm doing that again.
Yeah.
Tim Neve.
Yes.
Poor fucker.
Yeah, so going into the Knockhill
I heard
test, I think, I don't know if it's been officially
He's
announced
put
or
it-
anything, but
He's been in an accident.
the injury was he's have his pelvis operated on front and back, I think.
Fine.
And he's got like a big old crash. It happened going into the hairpin at Knockhill, and I don't know if this is, I've just heard a rumour, but I don't know if it's fact, but that the handlebar snapped just before he hit the brakes.
That it was.
So it was like completely not his fault, mechanical issue. So yes, he had surgery. As we record this, he had surgery yesterday. So we'll obviously send best wishes to Tim. He's on fire this season, leading the Superstock Championship by a good margin. And obviously his brother won it last year, so he's doing the best to keep it in the family. And he couldn't have done any more so far, but yeah, hopefully he'll recover. You'll know what it's like, pelvis injuries.
Yeah, well, that's a lot worse than my one. He'll be laid out for a while. So yeah.
He's from Lincolnshire, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
We'll give him loads of positivity and move forward because he'll recover.
I've got a feeling the Patreon questions will be a lot about what we've been talking about so far, so I'll just quickly scan through them, and if there's anything fresh, we'll get them answered. So Craig Johnson, hope you guys are enjoying it, and the weather looks great, which it has been. Not being the best circumstances, but how you find being the other side of the microphone commentating? Obviously, we've talked about it, but like, if you must be...
How much are they paying you?
I don't know yet. I'm just doing it, and I told him that I'm trying to recoup some of the... I mean, there's sponsors that if I don't ride, they don't pay.
Yeah.
Because obviously the publicity-wise, but that's why I'm trying to just recoup a bit of that to keep paying the bills. But I'm enjoying it. It's different, and it's going well. So all the positive comments help after every sort of broadcast. But it's different. But I'll definitely, it's hitting home and sort of confirming the fact that I want to come back and ride. I definitely don't want to stay up there and commentate again.
If you could shout out the pod, that'd be awesome. Even just slap you. I've just been on the pod with the lads, so just slap that out there a couple of times.
I'll have a go at
it. Good lad.
Kathy
Buy a pint.
Kathy Jones Parry's basically asking the same thing, but just saying what an amazing job you're doing on the commentary.
Oh, thank you.
We've got Ben Wrench. It's good to hear how the Norton compared to the bikes Divs had ridden before and since, and whether he thinks it could ever have been given a genuine contender for the win at the TT. Also, at the TT, what does he feel makes the biggest difference? As in, like, the rider, the team, etc., and the whole budget side of things. The Norton question, I don't know if they've got plans, obviously, since getting taken over by TVS and moving factories down to Solihull from Donington. I don't know if they've got any sort of interest in coming racing again. When you rode the Norton, was it the Aprilia engine, or was it the
It was the Aprilia. They haven't been around here with the genuine, apart from the Super Twin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm still in touch with my old chief. As I said earlier, like, chief mechanics, they sort of are everything in progression. And Johnny, Johnny he's all for the Tech Dragons. He's not a Tech Dragon himself. And I worked with him and Mick Grant, and that we worked so well together. I love old school way of setting stuff up. And Steve Plater was a test rider. And I value what he says. He's one of my heroes, and so I came into it like this, and blah 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 blah. Like, what's it like this? And he goes, Dave, shut up, ride it, and then come and talk. I'm like, okay. So I went out and rode it. I was like, fuck, that's quite good. Like, not too bad. But yeah, it was a different. When we got here, it's obviously the handling wise wasn't the greatest, but it had a lot of stuff going for it. It was so stable at high speed, and the engine was fast. And we worked on the best bits of it, and obviously tried to fix the worst bits. But I think we did good. It was put everything into it. And
I mean, it would be brilliant if another manufacturer would come back. Like, more manufacturers here, the best. So.
He said they're planning on it, but they don't know when it's going to be, because Johnny's still there. He went over to the new factory. But it's all a bit more I've not been there. I want to go and have a look around and show me around, but I think it's a bit more official now. You need all these bleepers to get yourself ins and doors and shit, but whereas it used to the Donington Hall used to walk in and crazy, hey, make yourself a coffee with a coffee pot.
Rod Buchanan, he said he met you at Oliver's Mount in your Norton days, and what a great fella you're doing, and what a cracking job you're doing on the TT Plus thing. So
thank you.
Good.
He's not going to fit out this studio tour, is he? Like that.
Tracy Dudley, did Randalls ever get his £30? What's that?
That's Adam Randalls. He lives at Ramsey. He does my pit board up at out of the Gooseneck, but he used to live in Hinckley, and we had many nights out in Hinckley, and I always used to sort of forget my wallet. Strategically. On a night out, they all called me £2.50 Dave. And,
okay, you're gonna get that from now on, aren't you? From our podcast fans.
Yeah. I've sort of I've come a long way now since then. Now I'm £5 Dave.
That's because the pint price.
Yeah. So does he owe me money now? Because did he say
it's from Tracy Dudley? So I don't know if it's a bit of an in joke. I don't know.
Does he owe me money now?
It says, did Randalls ever get his £30? I presume you.
I owe him. Shit. Damn it. I thought maybe the tables had turned.
And CJ Pep, which
CJ,
had a good
go back to New York soon,
yeah. From he comes over from America to watch the TT.
He's just the biggest fan of Piggy. He doesn't give a shit about us too. He's like, that, where's Piggy?
Any predictions for the winners in the solo classes after the first 5 nights of practice? Top 4 other riders to go out to the pub with for a night. Good 2 questions. First of all, the solos. Do you want to each do your picks, and I'll do mine as well? So you can start.
Todd's feeling it. Todd is feeling it.
That's raining like
that. That is pissing down that. They are getting good with that weather prediction now, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that is what time we're on there, Chrissy? 1 o'clock. They said we were supposed to be out on track around about now, weren't we?
2-hour podcast, by the way. We're doing all right, aren't we?
You're the people's favourite.
Is it 2 or 3? Far out.
You were late.
So far.
Holy shit.
You were late.
Yeah.
Then we had a pattern or something firing up. So there you go. Anyway, predictions. Go, my man. Go.
Hickey, Dean, and probably now I'd say Davey for 3rd.
Oh God, it'd be.
But that's all going well. I think with around here.
Is this top 3 in
top 3 in the Superbike, first Superbike? We'll say for now. Yeah.
Yeah. What's
you know what I think? See, it goes without saying, but I think in the name of sport, let's put Connor up there because them two are just so close to each other. But you see, like, Connor's got that race experience, hasn't he? But Davey's just Davey. He's flying. He's comfy. He's fast.
I think if all the bikes finish, I would have Hickman winning, but I do think the chances of mechanically of him finishing all of the races, it's like an endurance round here. I think at some point they will have mechanical failures, so I think that might open the door. I can't see anyone beating Hickman fair and square, to be honest, on any of the big bikes. But I think there could be a mechanical, and to be honest,
the Honda's, that's a bit of a surprise with Davey Todd breaking down a couple of times. If
everyone finishes, from watching the last few nights. For me, I think Davey looks really comfortable doing the speeds he's doing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he joins sort of Harrison on that P2. So like between them two.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, Dunlop can just go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dunlop's always had that enigma. He can just go.
Hutchie even from the Northwest, Hutchie seems like he's struggling a little bit with that new BM. I know they're running really like the latest electronics, and like there's maybe a lot to learn in a short period of time. But he doesn't look like he's like fully settled in yet on that bike. And obviously we'll all know how good he is when he is feeling it. But
by senior time, it'll all change again.
Yeah.
So it's a long week.
Who are you fancying on the 600?
We haven't actually seen Lee Johnson's the only one banging out good.
Michael's looking good.
Of course, Michael, Lee. But Lee's putting a lot of effort into that 600 because that's his baby. That.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling the most comfortable on it to begin with, which is strange. I thought he would have been on it.
And like Paul Jordan, he's banging out 24s.
Yeah, that's good.
Has Hickman done much on the Triumph yet in practice?
Yes, he did. I think he did 125 as well. Right. So I think you can't really. Yes,
put him on anything. Look what he did on the Super Twin.
On the twins, before this weekend, I would have thought it would have been similar to the last time we're here, where it was between Michael Dunlop and Jamie Coward. However, so far, the cream of the crop's definitely been Michael Dunlop and Peter Hickman, both on the patterns. Jamie Coward was fair bit off them last night, but could he be having a mechanical problem, and could he join them two in the battle for the win come race day?
Jamie's not even doing rolling laps, you know. Jamie's going out of pit lane at 119s, going down pit speed control, off he goes, he's banging in 119s.
So you think he's going to join them
Jamie
too?
Coward is like, he's just like, I don't know, he's like a dog with a bone. He just gets a hold of it, but he's smooth, calculated, and I hate him for it. He's fast.
I know it's
you know what I mean?
I noticed in the speed traps you're struggling a little bit for top speed on the Super Twin. Do you feel like you?
I've had 2 dumps since then, so that'll be corrected. Don't worry about it. No, but like I say, we don't know. We've put the spare engine in, and we don't know if it's going to be. We've never ran that spare engine, so hopefully it's. We are struggling with the top end ponies.
Yeah,
but the corners is where it matters.
And obviously, it doesn't take Einstein to predict the winner for the sidecars. All things going well,
and I think the Crow boys are going to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, they look good.
Definitely on the podium.
I tell you who's going well. Newcomer here, Lee Crawford. He's, like at home in the club scene, and like he's been doing British and stuff like that, and he's lost a ton of weight. He's like 7'7" of him, but he is absolutely flying. I tell you what, there's one lad I'm devastated for, and he is struggling for a passenger. So I'm going to put this plea out for is our local lad Michael Kirkup, because he should have been here as a newcomer, but he can't get a passenger. And I've passengered for him, and I'm still here. So, but the lad is a serious pilot. LCR.
You can do it here.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. But I need
to that. Passenger around now.
Oh, I'd love to. Absolutely love to. But like Kirkup needs a full-time passenger. So if there's anyone out there, Michael Kirkup, or get in touch with the show. But have a look at him on Facebook. He's a hell of a pilot, and he's wanting to come here. He's done the Southern. He's like been on the top 3 at the Southern. The lad can pedal a bike, mind. My God. So, bit of a local shout out for a local legend. He looks Raj, mind. You wouldn't cross him.
Class. Well, have we got anything else to wrap things up?
No, it's thank you for having me on the proper way. Like last time I was yawning, but I was in bed across the other side of the world. Now I'm over here yawning.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But no, honestly, thank you so much for coming on. So
by the time this podcast goes out, which will be this Sunday night coming, and then we've got the Bennett's barbecue on the Monday evening, like the social. There's no track action on Monday, is there?
No.
So
is there? No, there is Monday and then Tuesday off.
all
Tuesday
the
off, yeah.
schedule and
Yes.
that might have changed, and so we'll double check
Yeah.
with that.
Well, hold on. We actually haven't asked the best question going. The best question that you've come up with time and time again, Chrissy. What's your most embarrassing moment?
In your life.
In life?
Yeah. Chrissy came up with this concept. It was a rolling thing and it's been absolutely class. You know what I mean? It's like, what's your most
I've
embarrassing
done
moment?
some silly things in my time. But
Every time I come on the show, I keep reminding myself of like, because he asked me and I was like, I'm rubbing the headlights. I couldn't remember. Like one of my friends, Holly, he passed away and he asked me to ride one of his bikes. And I was all suited and booted. It was the middle of like just the end, like January. And he asked me, and he had to take the hearse car, take his coffin, and I was riding in front of me and this other lad. I got over this junction, fully suited and booted on a BM, slick tyres on, piss and rain. I got over the road and binned it. His BM absolutely had to pick it up and ride in front of him. I've never been more scared in my life. But everyone at this funeral, at this road, and he was a local brother lad, so everyone was lining the streets. And there's me, rum woof, just lost the front. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. He would have been pissing his pants upstairs, 100%. But this is the kind of ballpark.
that's all,
you know what I mean. Proper embarrassing.
I'll get the Macau one.
Go for it.
Obviously, Macau, the mixes they put in drinks there, they
it's the drinks fault, is it? All right.
Yeah, well, and I'm hanging out with you, so you're, spiking my drinks and stuff.
Got to be done.
Put an extra shot in there when I don't know. But yeah, and then I got back to the hotel, and this is the early nights, and when I was with, it was last time we were there. So I got back to the hotel. It was before the team rolled up, the PBM Ducati team. So I had the room to myself because when they came here, I had one of the mechanic guys in the room. So the first night we went out, you were there, and come in from D2.
He's dragging me into this.
Is it D2?
D2.
D2. Coming from D2. I think we went straight to breakfast, didn't we? That's what we usually do.
Oh, Christ,
straight to breakfast. But this is worse than that. I got back to the room, and I was laying in there, obviously not feeling too good because it's you pretty much send it there, don't you? On the having a few drinks, especially when we get there. We're on the ferry rolling in, and then as soon as we get there, we just go to our room, throw our bags in, and we're out. We're all so excited to get out and hang out. And I got into the room. And got into bed, and I was asleep with just my undies on, and then I got up to go to the toilet, and I walked straight out the front door, and the next time I was walking down the hallway in my undies, and then the door just closed behind me, and I was looked around, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I was trying to go to the toilet. And bear in mind there are toilets in the room for all. Yeah, I walked straight past the toilet and I was out the freaking door in my undies. Luckily, it was early in the morning. Not that early because we already had breakfast. Yeah, me and stumbled in 7 in the morning. That was class. And also, luckily, that I was right across from where the elevators are. Yeah. And where the elevators are, those chairs there, and there's a phone. So I was just I realised what I've done. I'm like, you fucking idiot. And all of a sudden, sobered up. I'm like, geez, what the fuck do I do now? So I sat on this chair there in my undies and just waiting for people to come and laugh at me. And imagine if Crowing that come past, he'd just be like, ha ha, and film me. And luckily, it was only Chinese people that come past. So I sat there, I was like, I've lost my key. And they're like, yeah, no worries, just come down to concierge and we'll give you another key. And I'm like, nah, no. You're going to have to come up here, right? Because I was on the 23rd floor or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, okay, we'll come up. And then, they came up and the guy was just I heard the ding, they come through the elevator. And then he's just look at me, what the hell's going on here? I'm like, that's my room. Come on, hurry up. Luckily, no one from the racing saw me. But that's probably the most recent, most embarrassment I've had. So yeah, that is class. Fucking Macau. I tell you what, you had an awesome run on that Paul Bird bike, mind. Yeah, you were absolutely feeling it. Speaking about Macau, you were absolutely on the pace. It was class. I enjoyed that. It was working with those guys, and you can tell. Being in that sort of a team your whole career, you know why you'd be good, really, and win races, because that bike was just unbelievable. And when we had Paul Bird on, he was singing your praises, so just keep pushing at him. Just do you want to go back, Paul? Do you want to go back? Yeah, well, hopefully Rich Energy OMG go there. Yeah. So we'll see. Just,
I've never been to Macau.
I
team don't know.
He's been. He would have been.
Been spectator,
he loves a. No, I don't think he's been spectating, but he would have been there. But maybe not to race meeting, but he's not raced there as a team.
Especially Hillier doing 207 mile an hour on that at Northwest. That'll be a weapon round
It will
there.
be, yeah.
207.
Yeah, there's a big slipstream he had behind Hutchie. But I mean, that's how you get the time. That's how you get the speeds there, is slipstreaming. But
That's some fast bike. That
the record's like 209. So
yeah, with Jessup, Ducati, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So hopefully they'll want to go, but just and hopefully it goes ahead again, because I've heard it's there's still crap
doing
going
the
on
quarantine,
over
aren't they? It's still a quarantine situation. That's the only reason, isn't it? So it's like they pay the car lads, but they don't pay the bike lads. It's like at the end of the day, we've all got shitty bills to pay, haven't we? You know, it's a bit like if you actually, I would sit in essentially prison for 2 weeks if someone's going to pay you. Well, that's what they want you to do, though. You have your own hotel room and you sit there for 2 weeks.
Still
and bring
doing
your food
that.
And
The rest of the world's moved forward.
mad,
In Australia, they're still wearing masks at the moment.
Are they?
But
Right.
in some places and like indoors, and it changes all the time. But it'll probably be different again when I get back. But over here, when I had my mask and I was walking out of the airport, and then nobody was wearing a mask. I haven't seen anyone wearing a mask since I've been here.
Nope.
So it's good.
You're home, mate.
It's
You're
like,
home. That's the thing. Don't you worry about it.
Isn't it
The
weird?
world's back
Isn't it
to
weird?
normal.
Because like for the last few years, we've been talking about whether how the TT are going to manage it and stuff like that, and it's literally like
Back to normal.
yeah, like you've just said that, and I've just suddenly thought like, oh yeah, like COVID and like I've not seen one mask since I've been here.
Jesus,
Man,
Yeah.
thank goodness. Thank
We'll
goodness.
take a few home before you meet the dog, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and as well as I know it's a while away, but we have also got the Bennett's track day coming up. Me and you are both on track at Cadwell Park, 27th of July. So
Well, I'll get my surgery after that then.
yeah, anyone can get booked onto that. Obviously, Bennett's customers, and also if you're like a bike social member, and if you don't not insured through Bennett's, you can still become a bike social member. So anyone can do that. So it'll be cool to be on the track a few times, and and anything else to wrap things up?
No.
I'd say
I want that
good.
lap, mind. I'm serious.
Yeah,
We're
well,
leaving
let's
here.
go.
Go for that lap. Awesome. There you go.
And good luck for the rest of the 2 weeks.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much, gang. Thank you to go on, sign it off, Chrissy. You do such a better job than signing it off.
You can.
I did this once before. It felt dirty, mate. It felt wrong.
Hopefully, next week when there's no racing on, hopefully we can all have a bit of a night out sometime and have a good catch up.
Wednesday night, I think, is the night.
Wednesday night. And where's I'm putting
so
you over here, so where's the best places to?
Or Hickey's got a party going, so we'll go there.
Has he? And it's
Interesting.
I think Richard Rowland's going there as well. So
Interesting.
yeah, Gas Monkey Man. I've watched every single episode of that.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan, so I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Get it done. Get it done.
Wednesday night. Put it in your diary.
Yeah. We'll do.
Every person
Party.
listening to this, I'm like, party Wednesday up there. They are. Hickman will be
class.
telling us to
Yeah.
beat that out in a minute. You watch.
I don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be
Somewhere.
down there somewhere. Yeah,
Somewhere.
It'll be a secret location and VIPs only, so we're definitely welcome.
So have a look at Davo's Instagram to find out said location. There you are. Keep an eye on that. There you are.
Well, and a
Class.
massive thank you to our sponsors, Colchester Kawasaki, and obviously to all of our patrons. And we look forward to getting another podcast. Between now and the next podcast, there'll obviously be a few sessions, including a few races. So, very best of luck, mate. All
Cheers,
the
man.
best.
Cheers, lads.
And thanks very much for your time, mate.
Cheers,
I
man.
really appreciate
See you
it.
in a bit.
Take care.
Awesome. Cheers.
Chasin the Racin, powered by Colchester Kawasaki, part of the Global Moto Group. We supply new Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Vespa, Royal Enfield, Kawasaki, Sim, Mutt, and Benelli motorcycles.